The world knew him only as one. From the moment he could understand the concept of ranking, the boy had a singular, all-consuming ambition: to be number one. Not the best at something in particular, but the absolute, undisputed numerical champion of existence itself. His childhood posters weren't of athletes or musicians, but of pie charts with the top slice highlighted, and leaderboards with a gleaming gold 1 at the summit. His life became a monochrome algorithm of optimization. He worked with a ruthless mechanical precision, viewing every interaction, every skill learned, every hour slept, as data points feeding the ultimate output: his ascension to the top. He ate nutrient slurry for peak efficiency, slept in precisely timed cycles for optimal recovery, and his dreams were not of fantastical lands, but of endless ladders, with only one rung visible at the very top. Friends were distractions. Love was an inefficient variable. Happiness was a byproduct he would collect later, once he arrived. And arrive he did. The day came when every measurable metric, wealth, influence, accolades, public recognition, converged into a unanimous verdict. The world's media, algorithms, and collective consciousness declared him the undisputed number one. There was no one above him. The screen was blank after his name. He stood on the pinnacle he had sacrificed everything to reach, expecting a tsunami of fulfillment. Instead, he felt a hollow, howling wind. The view from number one was not of triumph, but of terrifying, infinite emptiness. There was no 2 to gloat over, no 3 to chase. There was only the endless flat plain of after. For weeks, he was paralyzed. The machine of his ambition had no instructions for this. Then, one clear, cold morning, he looked not at the empty space above, but at the vast, sprawling landscape below. He saw the interconnected web of lives, stories, struggles, and tiny triumphs he had ignored on his vertical climb. He saw a young artist painting a mural of vibrant, messy color, a teacher patiently helping a struggling child, a neighbor sharing a meal with someone who was lonely. A profound and simple truth settled upon him, quieting the relentless drumbeat that had been his heart's only rhythm. Number one is only a statement. It is one number in a universe of infinite numbers. Achieving it was not an end. It was the end of a childish, singular pursuit, and the beginning of a real, complex existence. The climb had taught him discipline, but the plateau taught him purpose. The goal was never the number. The goal was what the journey turned you into, and what you chose to do with the summit once you arrived. He stepped down from the lonely peak. He began to use his resources not to maintain his rank, but to amplify the voices of others. He mentored, not to create rivals, but to nurture potential. He connected people, built bridges where he had once built walls. He learned to laugh at a joke that wasn't about winning, and felt the warmth of a hand offered in friendship, not competition. He discovered that while there will always be new goals to achieve, the true measure of an existence is not in the singular digits you accumulate, but in the countless lives you touch, the kindness you seed, and the small human moments of meaning you create. His life was no longer a count up to one. It became a story, a rich, sprawling, imperfect, and beautiful story that finally began to count.